The biting South Atlantic wind whipped across the flight deck of the Argentinian aircraft carrier 25 de Mayo, but inside the cockpit of the A-4 Skyhawk, the air was thick with a mixture of stale sweat and high-octane fuel. It was the pre-dawn gloom of May 21, 1982, a date that would forever be seared into the annals of naval warfare. Lieutenant Carlos Cachón, a young but battle-hardened pilot, ran through his pre-flight checks, his gloved fingers tracing familiar controls. Below him, the dark, churning waves of the Atlantic hinted at the isolation and unforgiving nature of the journey ahead. His mission, along with a squadron of comrades, was to strike at the heart of the British task force, now dangerously close to the contested Falkland Islands. This was no ordinary conflict. It was a clash of wills on the edge of the world, a strategic gambit born from a century of simmering territorial dispute. Argentina, under its military junta, had moved to reclaim what it called the Malvinas, triggering an immediate and resolute response from Great Britain. The world watched as a powerful British naval task force, comprising destroyers, frigates, and aircraft carriers, steamed thousands of miles south to reclaim the islands. Against this modern armada stood the Argentinian Air Force, its primary strike asset being the venerable McDonnell Douglas A-4 Skyhawk. These were aircraft of an older generation, designed in the 1950s, lacking the sophisticated avionics and electronic countermeasures of their Cold War contemporaries, yet flown by pilots of exceptional skill and unyielding resolve. This conflict would test the limits of both man and machine, redefining perceptions of naval vulnerability and air power's enduring potency. The Argentinian pilots, including Cachón, had been told they were facing the most technologically advanced navy in the world, bristling with radar-guided missiles and rapid-fire guns. Their expectations were grim, a heroic, perhaps suicidal, charge against an impenetrable wall of steel and fire. They knew their Skyhawks, with their modest bomb loads and lack of advanced defensive systems, were anachronisms in an age of precision weaponry. Yet, beneath their stoic professionalism, a fierce patriotism burned, fueling their belief that they could, through sheer audacity and skill, overcome the technological chasm. The reality they would face was a brutal, chaotic ballet of speed, evasion, and lethal ordnance, where seconds decided fates, and the line between success and oblivion was razor-thin. For the British sailors, confidence in their cutting-edge warships was high. They expected their sophisticated Sea Dart and Sea Wolf missile systems to swat away any incoming threats, only to discover that the human element, combined with a pilot's desperate ingenuity, could often circumvent even the most advanced defenses. On May 21st, as the British amphibious landings at San Carlos Bay commenced, HMS Ardent, a Type 21 frigate, patrolled the waters of Falkland Sound. Her role was crucial, protecting the landing force, a task for which her Seacat anti-aircraft missiles, manually guided and slower, were less than ideal against fast jets. Despite the dangers, her crew, like all within the task force, maintained a professional vigilance, assured by the general protective bubble of the fleet's air defense. Across the water, the Argentinian Skyhawk pilots were preparing for their runs. Their aircraft loaded with 1,000-pound bombs or smaller 250-kilogram bombs, a crucial distinction often made in the pre-flight briefing. The particular type of bomb fuse, whether contact or delayed, and its precise setting was a matter of life and death, determining if a bomb would merely penetrate or catastrophically detonate. This small, crucial component, a marvel of engineering precision, determined the profound impact of each attack, deciding between a devastating strike and a frustrating failure. The Skyhawks, flying at wave-top height to remain beneath British radar, approached Falkland Sound with breathtaking speed. Cachón's squadron, known as the Halcones or Hawks, roared through the narrow waterways, a tactic that exploited the radar horizon and the rugged terrain of the islands. For the crew of HMS Ardent, the first warning often came as a visual sighting, the silhouette of a delta-winged jet suddenly appearing on the horizon. too close for their longer-range missile systems to effectively engage. The Skyhawks came in waves, each attack run a blur of adrenaline and concentrated effort. HMS Ardent was battered, hit by multiple bombs, one striking her flight deck, another her aftermagazine. The fires that erupted were ferocious, tearing through the ship with terrifying speed. Despite the valiant efforts of her crew, the Ardent became a burning hulk, eventually sinking with the loss of 22 lives. The vulnerability of a modern warship, even one well-crewed and professionally commanded, was laid bare by the relentless low-level attacks of these old jets. The bomb fuse, activating as designed, had sealed her fate. 4 days later, on May 25th, the same audacity was aimed at a more formidable target, HMS Coventry, a Type 42 destroyer, equipped with the more advanced Sea Dart missile system. The Coventry, along with HMS Broadsword, a Type 22 frigate with Sea Wolf missiles, was operating as a radar picket, screening the main fleet. The Argentinian pilots, including Captain Pablo Carballo, faced an even longer journey, pushing their Skyhawks to the edge of their operational range. Their navigation was rudimentary, relying on compasses, stopwatches, and visual landmarks, an extraordinary feat given the vastness of the ocean and the ever-present threat of interception. Their determination was absolute, a silent oath sworn in the cramped confines of their cockpits. The attack on HMS Coventry was a masterclass in aerial daring and a stark demonstration of the inherent weaknesses in the British air defense system. The Skyhawks, flying so low they skimmed the waves, once again used the terrain of Pebble Island to mask their approach, vanishing from British radar screens at critical moments. The Sea Dart, designed for high-altitude targets, struggled with the low-level threats, and the complexities of coordinating fire with HMS Broadsword's system led to fatal delays and misalignments. When the Skyhawks finally broke cover, they were mere miles from their target, traveling at over 500 knots. The British gunners opened fire, their shells churning the water around the incoming jets, but it was too little too late. 2 Skyhawk bombs, released from incredibly low altitude, slammed into HMS Coventry. This simple yet vital component activated perfectly on impact, leading to catastrophic damage within the ship's vital compartments. One bomb exploded below the operations room, creating a massive hole in the port side and severing critical command and control systems. The other detonated in the forward engine room, igniting a catastrophic fire and disabling the ship's propulsion. Within minutes, HMS Coventry was engulfed in smoke and flames, listing heavily as seawater poured into her shattered hull. The devastating speed with which a modern warship could be crippled and ultimately lost was a chilling lesson. The British sailors, despite their heroism and professionalism during the evacuation, could not save their ship. She capsized rapidly, claiming 19 lives, a testament to the devastating impact of those precisely timed detonations. The activation of these mechanisms had tragically transformed a sleek, powerful destroyer into a sinking wreck. The transformation wrought by these Skyhawk attacks was profound, not only for those directly involved, but for naval doctrines worldwide. For the Argentinian pilots, their successes, bought at a high price of aircraft and lives, solidified their legend as courageous warriors, pushing antiquated machines to impossible limits. Their low-level tactics became a case study in how to defeat sophisticated air defenses. Yet, the overall outcome of the war remained unchanged. The Skyhawks' triumphs, while significant, could not alter the strategic balance. For the Royal Navy, the loss of HMS Ardent and HMS Coventry, along with other ships to air attacks, forced a critical assessment of ship design and air defense. It highlighted the urgent need for robust close-in weapon systems, CIWS, and better coordination between diverse air defense assets. The Falklands War demonstrated that even in an era of advanced technology, the fundamental principles of surprise, speed, and human courage remained decisive.
The lessons learned from those days in the South Atlantic would resonate in naval architecture and tactical training for decades to come. Decades have now passed since those harrowing days in the South Atlantic, Yet the echoes of the A-4 Skyhawks' roar and the fate of those British ships continued to reverberate. The story of those engagements, as chronicled by stories from the battlefield, serves as a poignant reminder of the human cost and the relentless innovation demanded by conflict. The seemingly insignificant bomb fuse, therefore, remains a potent symbol not of destruction itself, but of the profound impact of engineering precision and the razor-thin margins of conflict, deciding between survival and loss, between resilience and devastation. It reminds us of the delicate balance between expectation and reality in the crucible of war, where the best-laid plans can be undone by a moment of human brilliance or a simple mechanical failure. The Falklands War, particularly the Skyhawks' role, etched an indelible mark on military history. It taught that courage, skill, and audacious tactics can indeed challenge superior technology, but also that no amount of bravery can entirely mitigate overwhelming material disparity. The conflict stands as a powerful testament to the enduring human spirit in the face of impossible odds, the resilience of those who serve, and the constant evolution of warfare. From the cold, windswept waters of the South Atlantic, a universal truth emerges, that beneath the roar of engines and the flash of explosions, conflict is ultimately a profound and often tragic reflection of human endeavor, fraught with immense challenges, unforeseen devastation, and remarkable heroism. It reminds us of the profound courage and sacrifice demanded, and the enduring human spirit that seeks lessons and a path forward from even the greatest adversities.